So, for the very first time in IPL history, Royal Challengers Bengaluru are walking into the auction as the reigning champions. Now, you'd think, wow, that's the ultimate power move, right? Well, here's the twist. Their greatest victory has actually created their single biggest problem.
I mean, it finally happened. Can you believe it? After 18 long years of heartbreak and so many near misses, RCB went and lifted the IPL trophy in 2025. The curse was broken. And for one of the most loyal fan bases in all of sports, it felt like a brand new era was finally here.
All right, so what's the big reward for this historic win? A giant war chest to go out and build a dynasty? Nope, not even close. Their reward is a purse of just 16.40 crore rupees. To put that in perspective, that's the second smallest purse in the entire league. Ouch. And that brings us to the central question of this whole thing. How on earth do you defend a title when you literally can't afford to get into a bidding war? This is no longer about just buying success. It's about being smarter than everyone else in the room, all over again.
Okay, so to really get the scale of this challenge, we have to look at the cold, hard numbers, the financial reality. And trust me, this isn't just about being a little careful with their money. This forces them to completely change their entire game plan.
And, wow, just look at this. This really puts it into perspective. On one hand, you've got RCB with their 16.40 crore to work with. On the other, a rival like KKR, just sitting on a massive 64.3 crore. It's not just a disadvantage, is it? It's like RCB is showing up with a basic toolkit, while their opponent has a full-blown arsenal. The difference is just huge.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This tiny budget isn't just a weakness. In a way, it's a filter. It forces a new philosophy that, let's be honest, the old RCB never really had. Precision over indulgence. They can't afford those splashy impulse buys anymore. Every single rupee has to be spent with a very specific purpose.
So with money this tight, what's your first move? Well, you don't look outside for answers. You look inside your own house. The foundation of their whole title defense begins with trusting the core group that got them to the top in the first place.
And they are absolutely committed to this. They retained 17 players from that championship squad. The entire spine of the team is still here. You've got Virat Kohli at the top, the captain Rajat Patidar, that incredible firepower from Phil Salt, Tim David, and Jitesh Sharma, and then the whole thing is anchored by the experience of Josh Hazlewood and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. That's a rock-solid core.
You know, by making this move, the RCB management is sending a powerful message, not just to the fans, but to the entire league. They're basically saying, hey, that 2025 trophy? That wasn't a fluke. That wasn't a one-off. They believe it's the start of a sustainable structure, and they're doubling down on it.
Now, with that core secure, their auction strategy becomes incredibly focused. They're not going on a big shopping spree. Nope. They have a very specific 3-item shopping list designed to plug the few small gaps that are left.
And those 3 priorities are crystal clear. First, they need some insurance for their overseas pace attack. Second, they need to find some more flexibility and power for the Indian middle order. And third, they have to add a genuine wicket-taking spinner for their home ground. It's simple, it's targeted, and it's methodical.
So let's look at that first priority. Josh Hazlewood is world-class, but they need a solid backup. The ideal target, Plan A, would be someone like Anrich Nortje. We're talking pure pace and experience. But he's going to be expensive. So they have to be pragmatic, right? They need a Plan B, looking at specialists like Behrendorff for the power play or Patidar for the death overs, who could do a specific job without breaking the bank.
Now on to what might be their biggest vulnerability, the Indian middle order. There's just a missing piece there, and the ideal candidate to fill that gap is Venkatesh Iyer. He's a left-handed power hitter, he's flexible enough to bat anywhere from 3 to 5, and RCB has actually targeted him before. He really is the perfect piece to complete their batting puzzle.
And finally, the spinner. At their home ground, Chinnaswamy, just trying to contain runs isn't enough. You absolutely need to take wickets. So the dream signing is Ravi Bishnoi. He's young, he's aggressive, and he's a long-term asset. But if he gets too expensive, a familiar face like Wanindu Hasaranga is a fantastic alternative. He offers that same wicket-taking threat, plus some handy batting down the order.
So having a plan is one thing, but actually executing it in the high-pressure chaos of an IPL auction, that's something else entirely. This is where the new RCB is going to be truly tested.
I think this quote from head coach Andy Flowers just perfectly captures their new mindset. Continuity over chaos. That's their mantra for the auction. Every single decision will be guided by that principle. Maintain stability and avoid the desperate, chaotic bidding that so often defined their past.
And the pressure is going to be immense. You've got 350 players on the auction block, and teams like KKR are holding these massive purses. The competition for RCB's key targets is going to be absolutely fierce, and you know that's going to drive prices sky high.
So, here's the bottom line. Success at this auction won't be defined by who they buy, but by who they don't buy. The real test is discipline. Can they stick to their price limits and actually walk away from a bidding war even for a player that seems like a perfect fit? That's a lesson that took them 18 very painful years to learn.
Okay, so let's put it all together. What does a successful auction day actually look like for the defending champions? Well, it boils down to a clear 4-point plan.
And here it is. This is their blueprint. Step 1, go hard for Venkatesh Iyer, but only if the price is right. Step 2, secure that overseas pacer for under 4 crore. Step 3, make a calculated call on their wrist spinner based on whatever funds are left. And Step 4, use whatever is left to add some low-cost domestic talent for depth. No panic, no impulse buys. What we're witnessing here is a profound transformation. RCB is evolving from a franchise that was once defined by star-studded excess and constant instability to a champion team that operates with clarity, restraint, and a singular purpose. Their small purse isn't a handicap, it's the very thing that's forcing them to be smarter.
Which leaves us with the final, tantalizing question. The 2025 victory ended the drought, but is this new, disciplined, and strategic approach enough to do what the old RCB never could? Turn a single championship into a true dynasty? I guess we're all about to find out.